The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Oh no! We suck again! Oh.
Yes, folks, it's time to take flight, but pray we don't crash and burn. Welcome to Not Victory Monday from No Credentials Required, presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts of Not Victory Monday. I'm going to bring in my co-host for Not Victory Monday. This is a man who is feeling dispirited after last night's loss, Dan Goldstein. Dan, we'll go into it a little bit more in just a few minutes, but I just want to know, how you feeling?
Not good, man. It's not good. It's not good. I feel like draft season is creeping up upon us a lot faster than we expected.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. But before we get to the meat and potatoes of this episode, I want to remind you about our social medias on Twitter, Instagram, and the scarcely used TikTok. It's at NoCredsREQ. Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/at NoCredsREQ. And we usually don't post on Rumble for our Not Victory Mondays, but for the regular show. But if you are on Rumble, search No Credentials Required, hit the follow button. We'd appreciate if you would do that. Now this is gonna be a live stream exclusive only, but if you listen to the podcast, subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast platform, and don't forget to rate and review. As Dan pets his cat and contemplates winning the Powerball so he can buy the Jets from Woody Johnson, let's talk about last night.
What would I do if my first act as owner?
What would you do with your first act?
What would I do with my first act as owner if I was able to buy majority share? Goodness, what a question. I have no idea. There's a lot I'd want to do. So to figure out what would need to be done first would be difficult, to say the least. I don't know. I guess bench Zach Wilson. I guess I would.
My first act would be to build a new stadium somewhere in New York. That would be my first. That would be my first act. But you have
that would be my first big plan that I would put together. Would be a new stadium in New York. But as far as like what I can do in the immediate future, I'm essentially withholding all paychecks until Zach Wilson's on the bench.
Yeah.
I'm stopping direct deposits. I'm stopping 401k contributions. Like,
so you would pull what the Antonio Brown did with the Albany Empire? Is that what you're saying?
That's it. I'm going full tyrant mode.
He's going full tyrant. Oh goodness. Well, we got a lot to get to, and we could let's go with the positives. The defense did what they did every single week.
Literally,
with the exception of last Monday night, but even so, I would say holding the other team to 200 yards, but allowing 27 points, basically not 27 points, but I would say 20 points because the one score was a special teams touchdown, but they held the Raiders in check, and you expected this. Even the most random observer of football who may loosely follow the New York Jets, they know this team's reputation is built on the defense. So we knew what we were expecting last night with the defense.
What more can you say about the defense at this point? It's literally a playoff Super Bowl caliber worthy defense. Every single level of that defense is elite. There's barely ever any issues going on with that defense. They play clean, they play hard, they play fast, they play strong. And it just sucks to watch them just paired with a historically inept offense. It feels like such a waste. It feels
is.
like such a waste. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I'd almost wish the defense wasn't this good so I wouldn't be so depressed about it. That how wasted they are. You know? I almost kind of wish the defense was more of an average defense where it's like 1 week, 1 week or so they kick the crap out of somebody. But then the next week or two, they're kind of like struggling a little bit. At least this way the complaints could be more balanced regarding this team.
Yeah. I mean, defense played lights out. Special teams played much better than they did the week before. Got 4 field goals out of Greg Zerline. Whoopity-doo. But this is what we're going to talk about tonight, folks. Is the offense reaching a breaking point? And I say this because I'm basing this off of several things. One, the Jets absolutely shooting themselves in the foot every chance they had when they had the ball in the first half. The touchdown was taken away. A Brees Hall touchdown was taken away because of an irresponsible holding penalty by CJ Uzama, who should have been benched.
Shouldn't have been allowed back on the plane to go home. Should have absolutely bought him a separate plane ticket, coach commercial to go home. You're not coming back on the jet plane. There's no way. There's no way.
No. If I'm the coach, I'm sitting his butt down for the rest of the first half, if not the rest of the game, because he not only had 1 but 2 penalties in the first half that took away 6 points, and it took away a big gain by Garrett Wilson that could have given them a first down and kept the drive going. Instead, I believe that drive turned into 3 points, but still, I'm bench. I don't care how much I'm paying Uzama. I'm benching him.
I don't care. I don't care how much money you're making. You are a detriment to the fucking team. Sit down. Where is the accountability? What is Saleh doing? Where is the accountability towards these players and the absolute disgraceful display we've seen all season long? I mean, what? Look, you have Zach Wilson as your quarterback. We have no other choice in the matter, apparently, because apparently Trevor Siemian and Tim Boyle are worse than Zach Wilson, if that's possible. So we're stuck with them. So you have to understand, as a Jet offensive player, nothing less than 95% perfection is allowable in order to get anything decent on the field. So when you come in and you play like you've never played football before, you need to come off the field. You need to come off the field. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And I don't understand what Saleh is doing and why he is not literally holding players accountable. Why is Zach Wilson still being allowed to play an entire game instead of trying to just do something different? Just do anything. I don't care if Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian come in and they're just as bad as Zach Wilson. Because you know why? You tried. You fucking tried. That's all that matters at this point. You gave it a shot. If it works, holy shit, we have some life. And I don't care how that makes Zach Wilson feel. He's not the future. It doesn't matter anymore. His feelings to me are indifferent. You're not the future. You're here until you're not at this point. So the lack of accountability and the absolute frustration I have for these guys to be so uncoached and like undisciplined over these last, since the Chiefs game is just, it's just unacceptable. It's just completely unacceptable.
I wouldn't say since the Chiefs game. I would say to an extent the Eagles game, because he was pretty ineffective in that particular game. In that particular game, save for, I would say the entire game actually, but against the Giants, the offensive line was turned. I'm not going to put the full blame on Zach Wilson. So and he played all right. My problem is the offensive line, which is like shuffling like a cards. It's like shuffling a deck of cards.
for like the
Again,
third season in a row. I can't stand it.
this is the one problem area that Joe Douglas hasn't figured out yet. So the offensive line, the shuffling the cards, okay pass protection last night. I think they sacked. Well, actually, no, they sacked him 4 times, but they played better than they did on Monday night when they allowed 8 sacks. And I had to wonder if their offensive line coach had showed video of Joey Bosa not Joey Bosa. One of the Bosas. I can't remember. It's Joey or Jimmy or Jay.
Joey's on the Chargers. Nick's on the 49ers.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you. I was going to say Joey or Jimmy or Jay, like the Usos from WWE. I couldn't remember which one, but they had to have shown him over and over again doing this. It was easy. It's so easy. It's always so easy to get this offensive line. Played better pass protection for the Jets. But they can't get the run game going.
Nothing.
This was their bread and butter. This was their bread and butter for the first 6 weeks of the year, 5 weeks of the year, all the way up to the Philadelphia game when they were absolutely stuffed.
And it happened ever since.
Better, and I expected better in the Giants game, but unfortunately the bye week seems to stymie this particular Jets team in the Saleh era. And then against the Chargers, they can't get a run game going. And against an otherwise ineffective Raiders defensive line, they can't get the run game going either. So what is the problem with the run game? Because the run game's supposed to help Zach.
There's like no push. There's no physicality.
There's no push at all.
There's no push. Everything, the lanes aren't open. They get stuffed. They get moved out of the way. Like, you just don't see openings anywhere. And like, you can't expect Brees to do everything. Like, you have to help him at one point. Like, Brees's first run of the game actually had a chance to break, but it would have required Brees to do like a full jump cut to the left in order to like gain more yardage. And like, again, you can't expect Brees to be able to do that every single time. Like, you got to at least help him get some separation here. And it's just nothing's happening. Nothing's working. No, nothing's working. It's not helping. Mitchell is showing nothing at guard. Tittman's actually been decent at center.
They flipped Mitchell back to tackle last night, and it did an actually pretty decent job against Max Crosby.
For what it is.
Three hurries total. For what it's worth.
For what it is, he did a good enough job. And I'm sorry, I was referring to the Chargers game still and how bad he was.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right,
so that's my fault. I didn't clarify on that because we didn't do a pod after the Chargers game.
No, we didn't. I did not want to because I would have been.
Yeah, we didn't do a pod after the Chargers game, so I apologize. But yeah, no, he's definitely a better tackle than he is a guard, but he's still not. To me, he's not NFL starter worthy. I'm sorry. It's just, you would be settling for average if you allowed Max Mitchell to come in and be a future starter. Like, you do have to look to up. He needs to be your swing tackle backup, and you have to look to upgrade on that this offseason.
But with all the injuries they've had on that particular unit, they had no choice but to put Mitchell in.
As well, he should. It's just unfortunate.
He played well.
It's just unfortunate that like he doesn't have any power. Like, he's very good with his feet and his footwork, but he just doesn't seem to have any power. Like, he can't drive. He can't seem to like push all that well. He's just very good at mirroring. So I don't know. And for a team that's identity wants to be the run game, it's just not. He's just not. To me, he doesn't look like the guy of the future, which means the Jets essentially need to be looking at 2 tackles this offseason because Mekhi Becton's not coming back. I can tell you that right now. If you think you're different, you're fooling yourself. But barring a franchise tag, Mekhi Becton's not coming back.
Look, the first 6 games he played great.
Yeah.
The last 3 games he has regressed, and I don't know. I can't point a reason as to why he's regressed these last 3 games. He was a turnstile against the Giants. He was a turnstile against the Chargers. And the same thing happened last night when he was a turnstile against the Raiders. I can't pinpoint his inconsistency. I can't pinpoint, again, played great on the right. I mean, played pretty solidly well. I mean, but I don't. I just can't pinpoint as to why his development is starting to go down. And then you have the complete fear that I think. Look, we talked about this, Dan. This offense, this staff, that Nathaniel Hackett, Coach Robert Saleh, they seem to be coaching out of a sense of fear of Zach Wilson because they talked about hurting his development, this and that. If we bench him, we're going to hurt his development, yada, yada, yada. It's like, can you let the kid try? Let him try. Let him look. I want to see the Zach Wilson we saw against the Kansas City Chiefs because that Zach Wilson was great up until the last offensive series when he fumbled the snap. In that game, and in this game, in the fourth quarter, he seemed to be turned to get things on. And you got Aaron Rodgers in the sideline. You got Melissa Stark talking about how he's going to after every offensive series, going to Aaron Rodgers. Even when Aaron Rodgers is walking away, he's tapping his shoulder, getting some more input from Rodgers. But then that last pass on the second to last drive of the game, where he telegraphs his throw.
It's the same interception he did in the preseason last year before he got hurt. It's literally the exact same thing he did. I think, what was that, against the Giants?
No, it was against the Eagles.
The Eagles in the preseason? Whatever it was. If you watch, it's the same thing. It was literally the same route. You need to take that out of the playbook. He looks for the guy going straight up the seam on a 3-step drop, puts his eyes right on him, and the middle linebacker just walks right in front of it. It was the same interception we saw the first time we saw Zach Wilson in the preseason last year. Literally the exact same thing. You can put them side by side, and it's the same thing. That shows you haven't learned anything still. Like, you haven't learned anything. Have you learned? Your footwork is admittedly better. I will give that to Zach Wilson. Your physical,
his footwork has been tremendous.
Your physical has been much improved. Your arm has been much improved. The way you torque from bottom up, your body is much more in line with another when you get an opportunity. Like, he's been much better from the physical. He has learned dog shit in the mental of this game. I don't know what it is that's not computing in the classroom and the film study that he cannot figure it out on the field. Like, you've had so many reps in an NFL game. I mean, what's this, game 31 for him? His 30th, 31st, 32? Okay, that's your 32nd game in the NFL. Yeah, you've now played
touchdowns in 32 games.
And how many passing yards? Like, maybe 3,000? Like, it's pathetic. Like, it's pathetic. You just don't get it. Like, you just don't get it. You get like 3 decent NFL passes a game for Zach Wilson, and then it's like 4-yard dunks like the rest of the day, and that's it. Like, you just don't get anything else.
I don't know if it's a combination of all three. If it's a combination of Zach Wilson's development and he's still kind of taking baby steps. If it's the offensive line.
Past that point, though.
But hold on. Let me get to my other points. I love you, but let me get to my other points. The other part being the rotating door of in and out offensive linemen, and they just picked up another guy off of waivers today from the Texans. I forgot his name all of a sudden, but
Austin Deckles.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, you see, you remember your homework, but I don't remember mine. And the other part is Nathaniel Hackett's fear of throwing the ball downfield. What they go for? They did 3 deep balls last night. They converted on 1. He overthrew Browning.
He overthrew Lazard. He missed Lazard on what would have been a touchdown if it was any better, and Lazard was moving forward instead of sideways. So he missed Lazard on a shot, and when he hit Garrett in the first. That was a pretty deep throw, and then Garrett yacked it.
And the throw to Conklin to get them inside Raiders territory with, well, what I think should have been at least 17 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, what'd they say about that? Something along the lines like the refs didn't acknowledge Conklin trying to call a timeout or something along those lines?
Well, Saleh was trying to call a timeout, and they didn't acknowledge that Saleh was calling a timeout, and he's yelling at the ref saying he's got to put more time on the clock.
I don't understand
He
that.
went up with 13 seconds.
I don't understand that. I mean, ultimately it didn't matter, but I mean, I still just don't understand it.
No, but it's an amalgamation of things to why this offense isn't doing what they're doing. And yeah, we've got Aaron Rodgers saying, yeah, I plan on coming back in mid-December. If they're 4-8 at this point, would you want to come back?
Yes. I need to see really? I need to see something for the future. I need to know where you're at. I need to see, even though you've been hurt and obviously you haven't been able to build a season's worth of chemistry with your people, you're still Aaron fucking Rodgers. I mean, you're a future first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-time NFL MVP. Like, you don't need it helps, sure, but like, you can do those kinds of things to alleviate the lack of chemistry you've been able to build up. I want to see what it could have been. I don't want to go into an off season of like playing what if. I really don't. Like, I don't want to go into the off season of what if. I want to see what Aaron Rodgers could potentially have brought to the table. Even an Aaron Rodgers coming off of a major injury on a historic recovery. I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see what could happen. I do. I don't want to be tortured with that for the entire offseason of like, we never got to see Aaron Rodgers whatsoever. You know, we were stuck with this year 3 of Zach Wilson. What are the Jets going to be able to put together? I want to see a couple of games of Aaron Rodgers just to be able to say, like, this is what we can potentially expect moving forward now. Like, all of a sudden, shit, maybe Nathaniel Hackett's not the worst play caller of all time because all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers put up 285 and 3 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, he put up like pretty decent quarterback stats. I need to know that. I can't go into the offseason not seeing Aaron Rodgers at all if there's a chance he can come back.
Okay, that's fair. And I would give you the benefit of the doubt for sure if you want to see him, because I do want this streak against New England to die.
And I want to,
you know, and
we can play potentially. There's some sort of spoiler we can play against Miami too. So maybe we're not in the playoffs, but you know what? Maybe we can return Miami the favor, and
possibly Cleveland too, because Cleveland's looking like a good team this year, and Houston. I mean, could that be the game where he returns against Houston as a shootout game against CJ Stroud?
It's possible. It's possible. Look at the difference in that too. The Jets take Zach Wilson, number 2 overall, who's in year 3, 32 full seasons into his career. Can't do anything an NFL quarterback does. Then here's CJ Stroud, a rookie, in his 10th game, 11th game. I don't remember if the Houston had their bye week or not yet, but he's in his 10th or 11th game, and he looks like a certifiable superstar. Yeah. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Yeah, and Houston had the same week as the Jets for the bye week.
You know, okay, so there you go. Like, why can't we have that? How the Houston Texans already hit on 2 franchise quarterbacks in their short career, and we hit one 50 fucking years ago. You know? Like, give me a break, bro. This is bullshit. Longer than 50 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like this is horse shit. Like, I don't want to see this anymore. This curse needs to end. It's over. We can't keep doing this. This isn't fair to Jets fans. This is not fair to Jets fans. I mean, what did Namath do? Did he really sell his soul? Like, did he sell the Jets' soul for their 69 Super Bowl? And that's it for us? Because, like, that's really what it feels like. Because we really haven't accomplished much of anything with the exception of 98, 09, 010. You know, that's pretty much it. We got those 3 seasons, and then beyond that, I mean, I can't comment really on before that because I wasn't really watching the game much until I was about 10 and 12.
90, 85, 93, I want to say. Yeah, 93 because that's what because of a Raul Alegre field goal that got them into the wild card spot where they had to play Houston. I think 85 the Gastineau late hit in double overtime. 81 Don Shula doing dickish things to make sure that the make sure he didn't tarp the field at the Orange Bowl. It turned into one of the muddiest games of all time, and I'm sure he's still laughing in hell for that.
Yeah.
Presuming he's there. I don't know.
He's a Dolphins coach. He's a Dolphins coach. Of course he's there.
Does that mean Bill Parcells is going to be there too?
So, right there with Saban and Jimmy Johnson.
I kid. Maybe.
I don't know about Mike McDaniel though. I mean, I hate him for being a coach, but he's such a likable goddamn guy.
I understand, but I said this last week on the regular show. I said I cannot take the Dolphins, this version of the Dolphins, seriously because they can beat up on the teams that are complete crap, and yet they get smacked when they get smacked in the face with the reality. They will.
But that also means
this is the '90s Lions.
It also means in 2 weeks we're going to get dominated. Is what essentially that means. As much as it hates for me to say it, I mean, we can't score. So we can't score. So
no,
I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, but I mean,
and the Dolphins O line is the Dolphins O line is overachieving.
I'm trying to find silver linings everywhere. Like one of the silver linings is the Jets are a game back of the last wild card spot. There's one silver lining. The second silver lining is they're playing an underwhelming Buffalo team next Sunday on 5 days rest. That's another silver lining. And then they play a Dolphins team. I think the Dolphins are talented. Don't get me wrong, but this team it wilts once they get smacked in the mouth.
It's going to be one of those games where the Dolphins probably win something along like 24-10. And it's like because the Jets turned it over twice deep in our own territory, and the Dolphins score on short fields. And you're like, well, that's like not on the defense. But like, it's just gonna be it's just gonna be one of those games. Like it's just gonna be one of those games. I don't know. Until the Jets show any kind of semblance of offense, I don't expect anything but just disaster. How could you not after watching these last 3 weeks? How could you not?
Yeah, I understand. Like, I mean, you're the catastrophist. I'm trying to find the silver lining in things. That's what makes this show.
I mean,
that's what makes this show.
I don't know. I don't know, man. There's just so much to fix. There's so much. There
is a lot to fix, and we see Robert Saleh saying this afternoon he's sticking by Zach Wilson. He said he didn't have that bad of a game. Okay.
Was his worst we ever seen? No. Certainly wasn't one of his worst we've ever seen. But
no, the New England game was the worst we've ever seen.
Like, are you really again, we're moving the goalposts here because we're moving it based on what we've seen from Zach. We're not using it based on what we see from the average NFL quarterback. Because if you put it in that perspective across the NFL, Zach Wilson's not playing well at all. Zach Wilson played well for Zach Wilson, and that's not a good bar. Like that's really not a high bar at all. So like this moving the goalpost nonsense, like I'm over it. Like I'm tired of looking at Zach Wilson as Zach Wilson and getting this ridiculous leash that you get. Like it's over. Like it's over. Like you are not good. Do you belong in the NFL? Absolutely. Your physical gifts alone allow you to be rostered, and maybe you can be one of those lightning in a bottle guys where you can come in and hold the fort down for 3-4 games for somebody and win a majority of them. Maybe you can do that, but it's not going to be in New York. It's not going to be in New York.
I can provide one more silver lining for you, Dan. You'll crap on the silver lining.
I will find a way.
We're not the Patriots.
That's true, but the way to crap on that is they're trending hard towards a top 3 pick, which means Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Marvin Harrison Jr. All 3 of which are probably elite prospects over the last 5 years of drafting. Marvin Harrison Jr. is by far the best wide receiver that's come out in the last 5 years. And Caleb Williams and Drake May, you could argue are, I don't know, behind Trevor Lawrence. Who else? I don't really know. Besides Trevor Lawrence, I don't really think there's anybody else I would really put either Drake May or Caleb Williams behind as a prospect. So no matter what, Patriots keep going the way they're going, they're getting an elite prospect that can do very good things for their team. And I don't like it. I'd rather they win a couple and get to like pick 6.
You could argue the Bears are heading the same direction too, because
Sure.
they own Carolina's first round pick next year, which is right now it's number 1.
Oh, that's what it is.
And they're currently number 5 in the draft order on their own.
And that's what it is. The Bears are going to get a quarterback. Bears,
for sure.
Bears are going to trade Justin Fields for peanuts. He's going to go for a round 5, or he's going to go for a 2025 round 5 or 6 pick. They're going to just to offload his contract. He's going to get traded for peanuts to somebody. I don't even know who it would be, to be honest with you. I don't know, somebody that would need a really high-end backup. You know, somebody for a really high-end backup could take that, or for quality competition. Like, I don't know, maybe you trade him to Minnesota and you have a Justin Fields, Josh Dobbs competition, and you don't bother trying to go quarterback this offseason.
Well, interestingly enough, my regular co-host Dustin and I had a conversation last week. He asked about next year if Zach Wilson were to be traded. He said who would they trade him to? I said, and he came up with I said Kansas City, because and this is the reason why, because Zach has a lot of the same physical attributes as Mahomes. Just doesn't have that extra gear to put him ahead. Well, with Andy Reid's system being the way it is, it's supposedly the toughest training camp in all professional football. Could you see him under the tutelage of Andy Reid and possibly straightening up his game in case Mahomes goes down? They have a guy who could back him up, has the same type of skills that he has with the running ability. I mean, the running ability, the arm strength, some of the throw. You saw that one throw he made last night, that no look pass to Alan Lazard, and Lazard was surprised that he caught it.
Kansas City makes sense as a logical point. It really does. Literally just sit back as a high-end backup behind arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. It makes perfect sense. You know, you still exactly like you said. I could see Kansas City absolutely. Why wouldn't they want to part with like a round 6 pick to get Zach Wilson here?
Would you have to give Kansas City a bonus pick as well?
No,
like a 7th.
No, I don't think so. It's still a quarterback at the end of the day. Quarterback tax is still up there. I don't see why not. Kansas City, I think, would part with a 6th-round pick for a 1-year backup rental of Zach Wilson. You know, Jets are gonna draft a quarterback in this year's draft, anyways. You know, depending on where they end up. I mean, it's very interesting to see. Because if they keep trending down like this, I mean, they'll be a top 7 pick, and then who knows? Maybe Joe Douglas gets crazy and he trades up to number 2 with like Chicago if they happen to get up there, or Arizona keeps Kyler and Joe Douglas is getting wild because he knows he's on the super hot seat. So you keep Aaron Rodgers around, you trade up for the loser, the number 2 of either Drake May or Caleb Williams. Could you imagine? Don't discount it. It's not probable, but don't discount it. I mean, Joe Douglas has got to be feeling the hot seat here with the way things are going. You are well under 50% of a win total as a GM. You've already picked and majorly whiffed on a quarterback. This is the kind of time where GMs get crazy because it's their last resort. So, you know, fuck the next guy. I need to try and save myself. And that could happen. It could happen. No one's talking about it. Still a little early in the season. Who knows? But it is something that is a possibility, just not a high one.
Yeah. Well, Well, the off season is coming far and fast, but right now we're just gonna focus on the present. But we'll take one quick commercial break. We come back, we'll talk about the Buffalo game, so stay tuned. Are you ready to elevate your sports betting experience? Look no further than DraftKings Sportsbook. Why choose DraftKings Sportsbook? Unmatched variety. Bet on your favorite sports leagues or discover new ones to follow. Live betting. Test your instincts and feel the adrenaline as you bet in real time while the game unfolds. Promotions and boosted odds. DraftKings keeps the excitement going with a range of promotions, odds boosts, and special offers. And a user-friendly interface. Whether you're a seasoned bettor or new to the game, DraftKings' intuitive platform makes placing bets a breeze. Ready to dive in? Belly Up Sports has partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook to give you an exclusive offer. Sign up at dkng.co/bellyup150 and new customers will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet $5 or more. Don't miss out on this opportunity to take your love for sports to the next level. Sign up today and let the games begin. Please gamble responsibly. 21 years or older. Eligibility restrictions apply. See website for details.
Look at you guys,
That's right, folks.
Now.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But I'll tell you off air what happened with some other sponsors. But no inside baseball here. DraftKings is one of our new partners at Belly Up Sports. Do what the handsome man in the advertisement says. Go to dkng.co/bellyup150 for every new. If you sign up as under a new sign up for a $5 deposit, you get $200 in bonus bets against this only legal to 21 years and older, only available in states that have legalized sports booking. But get yourself some bonus bets and maybe make yourself a little bit of cash. So
sports betting finally is back in the state of Florida. I should say it's finally here, but I can't do DraftKings or FanDuel because sports betting in Florida has to be run through Seminole Indian servers. So the Seminoles created Hard Rock Bet app, and we can download that and we can finally do betting in Florida. I won $13 this weekend.
Hey, there you go. Good job. There is one comment in the comment section from our buddy Rod Uncensored. What's up? The Jets will make the playoffs. Calm down. Another silver lining guy.
Rod, I don't know how you can watch the Jets team and watch this offense and honestly think they're going to even come close to the playoffs at this point. When you can't even score touchdowns, and you're a lot closer to draft season than you are the playoffs. I'm sorry, you are. Could the next couple weeks, if they can, Zach Wilson score 4 or 5 touchdowns against the likes of Buffalo and Miami combined, we can start talking about them as a playoff team again, assuming they at least win one of those 2 games. But if this is the trend that continues and they lose both those games, absolutely not. There's no shot.
Now, speaking of Zach Wilson and touchdowns, that run he made last night to get the Jets inside the 3.
So Jets.
When he dove in the end zone. Hold on. When he dove in the end zone, did he step out the 3-yard line?
Sure did.
Or, because I looked at the replay,
he was out.
He was out.
That side of that foot was clearly over the white. And that's just what I mean. It's so Jets. It's so Jets. It's so Jets that your quarterback would be able to break a run like that. Any other team's quarterback would make it in the end zone. Our quarterback just so happens to.
Well, ask the Cowboys a week ago against the Eagles, but
the
2-point conversion.
It just feels like every other quarterback would have been able to keep their balance and take that in. Ours happens to just go just 2 millimeters too far outside, hits the white, and then we get a penalty backing us up and we can't capitalize. That's just Jets. That's just what happens. Like, we don't get nice things. It's why I'm miserable. It's a big reason why I'm miserable. It's a big reason why I'm pessimistic with the team, because this is just kind of how it goes. I can't keep the rosy cheeks going any longer with this team. Like, you haven't earned it anymore. You've earned all the vitriol that I throw out there towards this squad. When this is the offensive product you put on the field and have for years. years. We're not even talking one off, dude. You know.
Well, at least your Florida Panthers are off to a good start.
What?
On to Buffalo.
Go. Let's
On
go.
to Buffalo.
Cats are killing it. I'm loving it so far. Beating Connor Bedard last night. I wish I could have went to the game.
Well, I'm probably gonna head. I'm trying to head down to the January 4th game when the Devils when the Blackhawks come to town and face the Devils. But I'm gonna try. All right, on to Buffalo. On to Buffalo.
Who's currently losing 3-0 right now as we speak.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. I mean, obviously the Jets have to score touchdowns in some sort of fashion, whether it be on offense, on defense, trick plays, special teams. That's the only way you're gonna beat Buffalo. This Buffalo team is not the team we all thought they were. They're inconsistent on offense. They're beat up on defense. This was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender, and they're sitting in second place in the AFC East.
And trending down. And trending down away from Miami. Miami looks ready to run. Miami literally looks like they're ready to run away with the AFC East. And Buffalo's going to be fighting for a wild card. And yeah, it's just I think they've just been so decimated with injury that it's just like their talent pool hasn't restocked very well in recent years. And they're just they're starting to show chinks in the armor, cracks in the concrete starting to come through, and they're beatable. Jets play Buffalo very well. The Jets play Buffalo very well. We already beat them and already once this season, and that was an emotional roller coaster of a game. One I imagine probably 98% of Jets fans will probably never forget for the rest of their life. That'll be a game I'll remember forever.
Yeah, me too.
So it's just like we shouldn't win. But again, it's any given Sunday, and we play Buffalo well. And Josh Allen usually finds ways to help the Jets. So that's it. It's going to be back to the same old thing. Hope the defense and special teams can be absolutely a lights out elite and can bail out your offense. Again, until I'm proven otherwise, that's just the way my thinking is going to be.
Yeah, they have to score a touchdown. 36 consecutive drives without a touchdown in this NFL in 2023 NFL is unheard of and unacceptable.
And 20% in the red zone? Oh my God, bro. Like it's astounding. It's astounding. If Greg the Leg and Thomas Morstead don't make the Pro Bowl or All Pro, then the NFL is rigged. Because there's nobody more deserving in the special teams era right now than those two. No. I don't care. I don't follow another team's kickers or punters well enough to tell you.
I mean, the Raiders punter last night was the Raiders punter Cole was pretty solid. He was pretty solid last night.
I don't know. He's not no Tommy M.
No, he's no Tommy Morstead. He's no Tommy Coffin Corner. That's for sure.
Yeah, he ain't no Tommy M.
Ooh, good nickname. Oh man, I'm proud of myself for that one. Tommy Coffin Corner. Yeah. Formula's simple: score touchdowns, stop the Bills on offense, get in Josh Allen's face, because the Jets' defense is Josh Allen's kryptonite. Let's just say it out. Let's put it out there.
It's every quarterback's kryptonite this season, besides Dak. Nobody's done anything.
No,
nobody's done anything. Like literally, if you look at the full scale of the season so far, every quarterback they've played, their worst game of the season has been against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Their worst one. Like it hurts, bro. It physically fucking hurts. Like I feel it all right here, and I don't like it. And it's just, there's no reason for this anymore. Like, what was the stat? I think I remember Jake Asman saying, like, if the Jets scored the league average of like 22, call it 23 points, we'd be like 21-5 in our last 26 games. We would legitimately be the best team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We would. I don't. That's not hyperbole. If you literally put an average offense on the field that scored 23 a game, we would be 21-5 in the last 26 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. It really is. That just shows to go show how sad it is right now, because we all know this, but the rest of the NFL just doesn't see it because they're that bad. they're that bad.
Offensively, yes. Defensively, this is a Super Bowl. On any other team, in any other team, this would be a Super Bowl contender. If you swap somebody's offense, even if you swap Carol, I mean, I won't just go as far as say Carolina's offense. Holy crap! But take the other worst team in the NFL. No, not the Patriots, because that's just a whole nother dumpster trash fire of their own. I mean, you see the way Bill O'Brien was giving Mac Jones a business yesterday on the sideline?
Yeah. Mac Jones has been just as bad as Zach Wilson has been this season. Mac Jones has been just as bad, but he gets a pass because it's Bill Belichick in New England.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, it gets to burn that reputation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, simple. Score touchdowns, stop Josh Allen. Get the run game going, please. Let Brees cook.
But do it so like it's cohesive, not Brees has to do everything.
No.
Get the run game going where you look like a solid, well-oiled machine, not Brees got lucky and broke 4 tackles because of shit blocking and then did everything. You don't
the other team let him into the end zone to try to get the ball.
Yeah, you don't get to share in that accolade. That's Brees just being superhuman. I want to see the lanes open up. I want to see the bullet. I want to see second level. I want to see guys knocked on their fucking ass. Like, I'm over this. Drop your balls, play some football. Let's get going. Like, this is ridiculous.
And for the love of God, Nathaniel Hackett, stop coaching scared. Please.
What's like the dumb shit he does? Like everybody and their mother on Twitter yesterday was calling for play action for a deep shot on that 2nd and 1 play. It was perfectly set up. It was perfectly set up for the time down distance and everything like that to take a deep shot. Play action. He doesn't do it. And then Garrett Wilson then hurts his arm, goes out on the field in clear discomfort with his arm elbow area on his right side. And then what do? The second play he's back in the game, you try and get cute and have him throw a ball.
That drove me up a wall.
What is going on? Like, what? Anybody and their mother could have seen, like, okay, that play needs to come out of the playbook right now. Like, that would have been one of the first things I thought. Like, okay, we're not running that one with Garrett. Maybe we'll do that with Gibson.
Or change personnel.
That's it. Well, I'm flipping this to Gibson. We're gonna let Gibson do it, and Garrett can go run for it, or Lazard, or whomever. I think he was trying to go for Lazard. I don't remember.
He was going for Lazard, and he threw it out of bounds. Basically,
he was way off. Like, you could very clearly tell it was insanely uncomfortable. What the fuck? Like, it's just I'm sick of this scared shit. Like, stop the field goals. I don't want to see any field goals again. I would rather you guys go for it on 4th and 7 from the 30-yard line than kick another field goal at this point. I really would.
If it was Dan Campbell coaching and not Robert Saleh, that's what they would have done.
4th and 7 from their 30, and I want to see you go for it. I don't want to see a field goal. I want it. I want all the smoke. I want you to try for everything. I don't care if it fails. If it fails, I'll cheer the fact that you actually went for it, because at this point, this field goal shit isn't working, and it's not doing anything to help the team. I would argue that at this point, watching this many field goals is almost hurting the spirit of the team.
Mm-hmm.
They would rather see you drop your pants and go for something crazy.
Yep.
Than this safe nonsense that we keep watching.
No, it's like watching the Adam Gase era all over again. And I hate bringing up that name, but that's what it is.
Adam Gase was better. That's what's crazy to think about. Adam Gase was better. I never thought I could ever say that. I never thought I would watch an offense as bad as Adam Gase's was. And it hurts me to say that Adam Gase would be better right now. He really would. He really would. How much better? Probably not by much. But Jets probably at least score one. Probably Jets can score at least one touchdown a game. Something, anything. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, and
I don't know. I'm very much getting to the point. I'm very much getting to the point where I'm, watching the undisciplined play, watching the safe play, watching the lack of accountability. You have to start questioning. You honestly have to start questioning whether Robert Saleh is going to be the right guy. We're at that level. I don't know about everybody. Maybe some people aren't there yet, but I'm one of the ones that's willing to have these difficult conversations. You do need to start having the discussions. Is he the right guy? Is he a likable dude? Yeah. Do guys want to play for him? Absolutely. But his coaching style is too passive. You're too passive. You are not for the situation at hand. You play too scared, too worried, and you get out coached too much. Like you really do. Like there's very few games we watch where we say Robert Saleh was the better coach.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? I mean, I don't think I'm too wrong here. Even in victories, even in some victories, you don't think Robert Saleh was the better coach. You just feel like the Jets came out and played a little bit better. And that's not always one and the same. You could play very well and still look like shit in your coaching. So, Giants game, perfect example of that kind of a thing. So it's like, again, it's one of those things where you're not there ready to fire him, but at the same time, like if this is what continues and Garrett Wilson is clearly frustrated, Breece Hall is clearly frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
You've pissed off Mekhi Becton over the last 3 years with the way you've talked about him due to his injuries and such. And was it deserved? Absolutely. But at the same time, you haven't learned how to navigate the relationship well enough to be able to probably salvage it. And now it's going to cost you your highest upside lineman ultimately at the end of this year. And it's just like, this is the kind of things where like he's making it too complicated with the lack of decision making that you're doing. You're making it too complicated. Zach should have been benched 2 weeks ago. Absolutely should have been benched against the Giants 2 weeks ago. 100%. Dalvin Cook had no business seeing the field the first 6 weeks of the season, 7 weeks of the season. Had no business seeing the field. Why is Izzy Abanikanda still sitting? Uzama from this past week is perfect. Like we talked about in the beginning of the podcast. Uzama should have been benched before the end of the first half was over. You should have been benched. That's it. Bro, you've had 2 debilitating penalties before we even got to halftime. Like, you got to sit. Like, that's just what he did. What does he do? Nothing. Why is Ruckert not getting Uzama snaps? Uzama should be in for a handful of plays a game to spell. Why is Ruckert not being developed as your tight end one of the future? And you're throwing just snaps galore at him, especially when he's shown he's probably one of your better blockers on the entire team. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's like, like this kind of decision making, you really have to start questioning, is he the right guy for the long term of the team? You do. Now, unfortunately, in this head coaching, in this offseason, there's really not a lot of like high-end quality coaching candidacy, which means Ben Johnson from the Lions is going to have his pick of the litter. And I imagine Jets won't be very high on his list if they were to get rid of Robert Saleh. So, like, you almost want to keep him one more season, give him a season with Rodgers, and like, but your hot seat is hot. Like your and Joe Douglas's hot seat is hot. You're coming in probably top 3 in the NFL for hottest hot seats in a head coach GM pairing for next season. You really are.
Well, one other alternative is always Jim Harbaugh.
Doesn't make me feel better.
Hey, at least you won't get in trouble for allegedly stealing signs or having a hamburger or talking to kids during COVID recruiting. But anywho, well, I got nothing else to add. Dan, you've been more than eloquent in airing your grievances. I've
Then
done my part.
I call it like I see it, and maybe I do trend on I certainly do trend on the negative aspect of being a Jets fan, but it's just like, give me a reason not to be, because right now I don't see it. I see a wasted defense and I see a historically bad offense again. So it's like, where does it stop? Where does it stop? Where does it stop?
Hey, don't bring the cat into this.
Cat's been so sick for the last week and a half. Spent like $700 at the vet.
Oh,
She had a super bad kitty cold and wasn't eating. But now she's got some medicine for everything. She's feeling better. We just got to get rid of a little bit of conjunctivitis in her eye.
ew. Well, yeah. Well, my guy's in my sister's room on the electric blanket because it's New York. Because it's autumn in New York and it's effing cold.
Oh God, it was so hot. It was so hot today down here. It was
19 degrees when I woke up. It was 19 degrees when I woke up this morning.
It was still in the high 80s today.
Ugh.
Still in the high 80s and humid because it rained. So you still walk outside and it's like instant swamp ass.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, yeah. Well, that's Florida for you. But
that's Florida.
That's Florida. All right, folks. You can follow No Credentials Required on a myriad of social media networks, including Twitter, Instagram, and the scarcely used TikTok, Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/NoCredsREQ. On Rumble, just search No Credentials Required. Give us a follow there. On the regular podcast, subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast platform. Don't forget to rate and review. You have been watching Not Victory Monday from No Credentials Required, presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. Thanks for watching tonight. For the spirited Dan, I'm Rumbling Ryan. We'll catch you hopefully in a better mood next week. Thanks for watching.
Fins are trash.
No! We suck again!